Westley Allan Dodd, a child predator whose actions shattered lives and scarred a community. Born on July 3, 1961 in Toppenish, Washington, Dodd's childhood, though outwardly unremarkable, was marked by the upheaval of his parents' divorce and his father's subsequent remarriage. These tumultuous events left an enduring mark on his personality, sowing the seeds of a twisted and destructive future. Dodd's academic struggles were mirrored by a growing darkness within him. Plagued by behavioral issues and learning disabilities, he floundered in school. In 1979, a sinister chapter began to unfold as he committed his first recorded offense, indecent exposure. This was merely the tip of the iceberg. 2 years later, he was arrested for lewd conduct, a harbinger of the horrific crimes to come. By 1986, his depravity had reached a terrifying zenith as he turned to child molestation. Dodd preyed upon the most vulnerable, using manipulation and coercion to shatter the innocence of countless children, leaving families scarred and broken. On the grim day of September 4th, 1989, a chilling discovery unfolded in David Douglas Park, Vancouver. The lifeless bodies of two innocent young boys, 11-year-old Cole Neer and 10-year-old Billy Neer, were found, a haunting testament to the darkness that had consumed their lives. The young boys had endured a horrific ordeal. Both Cole and Billy suffered multiple, agonizing stab wounds, the results of a brutal attack at the hands of a monster. Dodd, a shadow of evil, had stalked, abducted, and ultimately extinguished their innocent lives. The nightmare continued just 2 months later when 11-year-old Lee Iseli vanished. His lifeless body was discovered near Vancouver Lake, bearing the chilling hallmarks of Dodd's twisted signature. A task force was formed to investigate the cases, comprising the Clark County Sheriff's Office, Vancouver Police, and Portland Police. On November 13, 1989, Dodd attempted to abduct 6-year-old James Kirk from the Liberty Theater in Camish. Kirk broke free and Camish police arrested Dodd. Police officers dutifully informed Dodd of his right to an attorney, offering him a phone and a list of legal professionals. However, Dodd, perhaps blinded by a sense of arrogance or desperation, opted to face the consequences of his actions without the guidance of legal counsel. Dodd's initial response to interrogation was a defiant denial of guilt. Yet, as the weight of the evidence grew heavier, his resolve weakened. Ultimately, he confessed to the murders, providing investigators with crucial information that led them to his apartment. There, they unearthed a chilling collection of evidence that solidified his culpability. As the investigation deepened, Camish police uncovered a disturbing pattern in Dodd's past. His history of sexual offenses involving young male victims, coupled with his proximity to both David Douglas Park and Vancouver Lake, raised alarming red flags. The chilling realization that Kirk bore a striking resemblance to Lee Iseli further solidified the connection. The Camish police wasted no time in alerting the officers investigating the Neer and Iseli cases, igniting a renewed sense of urgency. Dodd's diary exposed his twisted mind. He surveilled David Douglas Park, selecting ideal crime sites and considering weapons. On September 4th, he approached the Near brothers, ordering them to follow him. Dodd raped Cole while Billy cried, then stabbed both boys. Dodd also described his rape and murder of Lee Iseli. He led the 4-year-old boy from a playground, promising fun and money. Dodd raped and strangled Iseli, taking photographs. Detectives Trimble and Jensen engaged Dodd in a late-night interrogation session, the tension palpable in the air. The first interview, a grueling 4-hour ordeal, stretched from 10:45 p.m. to 1 a.m. Undeterred, the detectives continued their relentless pursuit of truth, launching into a second, equally intense interrogation that lasted until 2:45 a.m. Detective Trimble formally advised Dodd of his Miranda rights, ensuring he understood the gravity of the situation. Dodd, appearing alert and intelligent, acknowledged his rights but declined legal representation, expressing a willingness to cooperate with the police. The detectives delved into the heart of the matter, questioning him about the horrific murders of Cole Near and Lee Iseli. Dodd, however, maintained his innocence, denying any involvement in the crimes. The investigators then sought permission to search his residence and vehicle, hoping to uncover evidence that could link him to the heinous acts. Dodd's initial defiance began to waver. When asked about a potential search of his home and car, he hesitated, suggesting he might benefit from legal counsel. However, Detective Jensen, sensing an opportunity, encouraged Dodd to continue the conversation, suggesting that sharing his thoughts might provide some relief. Relenting, Dodd agreed to proceed, a decision that would have far-reaching consequences. In a shocking turn of events, he confessed to the horrifying crimes, admitting to the abduction of Kirk and the murders of the Near boys and Lee Iseli. He even directed the officers to his apartment, where they would uncover damning evidence that would solidify his guilt. To ensure a comprehensive record, Dodd consented to a second recorded interview. At the outset of the second interview, Officer Trimble meticulously read Dodd his Miranda rights, ensuring he fully understood the implications of his statements. Dodd, seemingly composed, acknowledged his comprehension and willingly agreed to continue the conversation, confirming that he wanted to speak with the officers without legal representation. He reaffirmed his earlier statement, emphasizing that talking to them would provide a sense of relief. In a chilling recounting, Dodd once again detailed the horrific murders of the Near boys and Lee Iseli, as well as the terrifying abduction of James Kirk. Armed with 2 separate search warrants issued by different judges, the police meticulously searched Dodd's home and car. The evidence they uncovered was both disturbing and damning. A briefcase found in his apartment contained Lee Iseli's underwear, a haunting reminder of the boy's suffering. Additionally, a photo album filled with images of Iseli, taken both before and after his murder, and a chilling diary offered a glimpse into the depravity of Dodd's mind. The chilling details from Dodd's diary revealed a disturbingly methodical approach to his crimes. In the diary, he meticulously planned the murders of the Near boys over several days. He scouted David Douglas Park, identifying potential crime scenes and timing his attacks. He carefully considered his victims and the methods he would use to evade capture. The diary also reveals his meticulous planning in acquiring and transporting the necessary weapons to the park. These chilling insights into Dodd's mind highlight the calculated nature of his crimes and the danger he posed to society. On September 4th, he saw two boys who were the proper age playing on bikes in the park. He approached the Near brothers, ordered the boys to come with him, and led them to a secluded area of the park. He told the boys to bring their bikes because he did not want anyone to see the abandoned bikes and began to search for the boys. In a wooded area of the park, Dodd tied Billy's and Cole's wrists together so that the boys faced him, and he raped Cole while Billy cried. Dodd then cut the boys loose, made them kneel down, and he tried to rape Cole again. Dodd told the boys he wanted one more thing. He took a knife from under his pant leg and stabbed Billy in the gut. As Cole, who was still kneeling, started to rise, Dodd stabbed him in the side and chest. Despite his wounds, Billy tried to run away. Dodd pursued him and, as Billy repeated, I'm sorry, Dodd fatally stabbed him. Dodd checked the area for incriminating evidence, made sure that Cole was dead, and then left the park. The next day, Dodd put the knife in a manila envelope and threw the envelope in a dumpster. On October 29th, around noon, Dodd went to a school playground he surveyed the preceding day. He saw a group of boys playing football and, away from the group, a younger boy playing alone. Dodd approached 11-year-old Lee Iseli and asked if he wanted to have some fun and make some money. When the boy hesitated and seemed unsure, Dodd took his hand and led him from the playground to Dodd's car. Lee Iseli began crying in the car, but Dodd held Lee's hand and promised not to hurt him. When they arrived at Dodd's apartment at 1:30 p.m., Dodd noted the circumstances were perfect. His neighbor and landlord were out. Dodd told Lee to take off his clothes and, when the boy protested, began undressing him. Dodd tied Lee to a bed, the boy's hands over his head, restrained at the chest, knees, abdomen, and ankles, then took photographs of the nude boy. During the day and evening of October 29th and the morning of October 30th, Dodd raped and strangled Iseli. When Dodd returned from work the afternoon of October 30th, he burned Iseli's clothing, putting Iseli's corpse in a trash bag, and dumped his body near Vancouver Lake. Westley Allan Dodd's execution on January 5, 1993, by hanging at 12:05 a.m., marked the end of a horrific chapter. His chilling final words, "I deserve this," offered a stark acknowledgement of his heinous crimes. While his execution brought a sense of closure to the victims' families, the trauma of his actions will forever linger. Dodd's case remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk within individuals, serving as a cautionary tale for generations to come. As we close this episode, our thoughts and condolences are with the victims' families for all of our stories. Losing a loved one is never easy, but losing them in such a violent way is a wound that never fully heals. True crime stories serve as a cautionary tale. Stay vigilant and don't forget to subscribe to Crime Cap Podcast for more bone-chilling, wicked, and twisted episodes.